Okay. So we are recording. Thank you everyone for being on this Nikken Women Creating Wealth call. Love to have you all on. We love your input and very excited about these calls, and we're getting great response. So it's really thrilling, and we'll have different people on at different times to hear how, different people create this business. And the focus of this call is on creating wealth with Nikken. We certainly know that we can do that, and many people have done that. So it's not a mystery, and yet sometimes it does feel like a mystery for us. So I wanted to, before I introduce our wonderful guest, Linda, I wanted to mention a couple of things. One is a documentary that Dave Johnson put out the other day. It's called Death by Medicine, and it's by Gary Null. And I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's a really powerful documentary. You can find it on YouTube. And I'm going to really suggest that you listen to it. It's very important to stay current with what's going on in the Western medical world to some degree. And what it does is it gives us a lot of power to really get out there and be advocates, for health and wellness. And because what is happening out there is really a travesty. And so, for me, when I've been doing several demos. Yesterday I had a wonderful demo with a couple, the day before another couple. And, I never try to create urgency with them per se. What I do try to create urgency with is where our healthcare system is at, and that we must change it, and that it's women primarily that are going to change that through a grassroots revolution. And that's where I put my urgency, not on them, because I have found that has never worked. People don't like that sense of urgency put on them directly. And I don't like it either myself. So, I can really relate to that. So I had these amazing demos, and it was just so exciting to see people's response. And one of the things that I just say that I really look for is curiosity. In fact, I will ask people right off the bat, are you curious about energy medicine? If you're curious, we can talk. But if there's no curiosity, and if the mind is closed, it doesn't usually go very far, and it's not much fun for anybody. So that's the thing I really look for. The second thing I just wanted to mention before we start our call is the emotion code. I mentioned it before, and I want you to know that with the emotion code, you can do it yourself. You can look it up online. You can look it up on YouTube. You can see how it works. You can see the chart there, and you can do the work yourself very easily. Learn about it within a few minutes. And it's very powerful work, particularly with the heart wall. There are trapped emotions that we all have that create a heart wall. And we want to release those, because why is it in Nikken that some people can just sponsor lots and lots of people and have lots and lots of customers, and others don't? And it's to do with us, right? It's our internal state of being that makes the difference. That there's no question. We can all do this. It's not a difficult business, but yet some people have great results, some people not. And it's these kind of reasons. So I'm always looking to see what can we do to shift the internal state. And I'm just gonna see if I can, Melissa, can you please settle down there? Thank you. So we can have calm in the video, thanks. And so these releasing of the heart wall and other emotions that you can release regarding abundance, wealth, love, marriage, relationships, whatever you've got going on, you can check, and you can find them very easily, and you can release them with the Mag Duo over, the governing vessel of the body. And it's easy to release them. And that's a very powerful thing to be doing. So I'm going to really recommend that you all look into the emotion code, because you don't have to go get certified to do it. You can do it yourself. And I like things like that, because with the Psych K work that I do, you do have to get certified, and we can't share those sheets. But with the emotion code, it's easy. And so recommend it, particularly the heart wall. Start with the heart wall, and then check, do I have trapped emotions around Nikken. Do I have trapped emotions around my upline, around my downline, around a specific person? And then release them and release them and release them. And do I have trapped emotions around abundance or wealth creation? So it's important to do this inner work. The inner work is really critical in terms of Nikken. That's why it's humans being more. That's why we call it that. Humans being more. That is our motto through the 5 pillars of health, the balance in those 5 areas. And for most people, the balance is either out of balance in their health or it's out of balance in their wealth. Those are the 2 primary areas. And then sometimes it can be our family also. And of course, sometimes it can be our work in the world. So that's what we're working on. And so now let me see. I'm very excited because we have Linda Morris on the phone. Linda is one of my favorite women in Nikken. I love her so dearly, and so does everybody else. If you want to ask who's an angel in this company, Linda's name will always come to the surface. She really is an angel, and no kidding on that. So she's bright, she's beautiful, she's dynamic, she's passionate without being off-putting. She's a model. She works as a tireless advocate for health and wellness in our world. And I have so much respect for this woman. She just won the Eagle Award in Utah at our event. And we were so excited. We were yelling, we were screaming, I was crying. We were so happy for her because there's nobody who deserves it more than you do, Linda. So I know we've had a little trouble with our mics. I'm hoping we'll be able to hear you really well. I know you have a lot of wonderful things to teach us and wonderful tips to give us. So Linda, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Wonderful, wonderful. Brilliant. Okay, my dear. Well, we've talked the other day quite a bit, and we spoke about different areas of Nikken and life and the internal world and the external world. And so I'm going to give it over to you, my dear. I love you so much, and I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. So go for it. Tell us.
I can't wait to hear what I'm going to say, too.
What's that? Say again.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear what I'm going to say, too.
Great. Fantastic.
Well, I guess this is just a perfect example. Is sometimes things don't work out how we plan, so we have to go to plan B. And that's what I've done today. I'm on my iPad, which was not my intent. I do Zoom calls all the time without any problem on my computer. But for whatever reason, I couldn't hear it. You guys couldn't hear me. So, you know, it is that patience and persistence is what I've been doing with Nikken for 22 years. And, you know, there's more than one road to get to a destination. And there's many roads that we don't even know about. And at the same time, if we are having a challenge, then sometimes you just have to take a pause and think about it and do things differently. And Julie and I were talking about that because things happen in our days every day. There's things that happen, whether it's your route is blocked to your destination, and even if you left early, you're still not getting there on time, or somebody doesn't show up, or something happens in our lives, and sometimes we get into a little funk. Well, and then we have an appointment coming, so we have to shake it off. We have to get it off so we can get back into our happy place, really, so that we can be of best service to that person and give them the best chance to see what we have with Nikken. Because if we come in with all this energy, it can be off-putting to people. It can be off-putting if you have too much energy, but it can also be off-putting, really off-putting, if you have negative energy, or you're just reeking like you've had a bad day. I definitely believe in being authentic and real. So that's why before I go into some of these situations, I phone a friend. In fact, my dear friend Heather Laux, Barbara Bertucci, even Julie. I've called Julie, and you just have to get your light back before you go talk to somebody and get grounded. And just last week I had a couple that came to my house, and they were bringing two other new consultants to my house, and their energy was just off the chart. There was so much going on that I'm like, we have to calm this down. And the one of the woman that was actually there, she's like, well, I've only got this much time, and I really want to learn about the sleep system. I said, great. Have you had a rollout yet? And she said, no. I'm like, perfect. So I went and got my rollout kit, put it on the floor, and generally I'd have the consultant do the rollout, but I said, nope, I'm going to do it. And it's going to be in total silence. So nobody else can talk. We're just going to focus on her having this really good experience, and we'll talk afterwards, which I could see the shock on everybody's faces, like, what? And I gave her a really good rollout. I let her lay there for 5 minutes with the sleep mask on, and somebody started to talk, and I held up my hand, 5 minutes. And she had such a great experience with it. She's like, wow, that was amazing. But sometimes you just really need to pay attention to your gut instinct as to what's going on with the situation. And that comes from listening and watching and paying attention. And I don't go in with an agenda. Like, I didn't exactly know what their real purpose was coming to my house. And what I was hearing was that one of the individuals knew a lot about a lot of things. And it felt like he was going to start a competition with who knows more. And I'm like, I'm not getting into that game.
Right.
And so we just needed to shift the situation, and it worked perfectly. But it is assessing and seeing what's going on. It's like, okay, we need to bring down this energy, and then other times you need to bring it up. So that's one of my more recent experiences. And every day I try to start my day with something positive. Like I set my alarm 15 minutes or 20 minutes early, so I have the luxury to start off my day on the right foot. Now, sometimes things happen and it doesn't always work out the way I want, but on my phone, I don't know if you can see it, we have Christy Marie Sheldon, and she has a morning meditation. It's love or above, which doesn't get much better than love or above. And that's, Julie, you've always been my mentor. I'm like, I want to be like her, because you exude love and you just love everybody. And it's just so beautiful. So that has been my purpose for all my years in Nikken. Like, I want to be like Julie. I want to be that happy, upbeat, effervescent energy. So it is a learned behavior. And then she also has the evening meditation, Christy Marie Sheldon. And you can find that on Omvana, Omvana. And that is an app. It's only, they're like $5 or $7, something like that. But the evening meditation, so she connects to this high energy, just to fill yourself, your heart, your whole being with this energy for the day. And it makes me sparkle. And if I don't have time, I'll put it on I have a speaker I can attach my phone or my iPad to in the shower. So I listen to it while I'm in the shower. So you're actually being bathed with that love or above energy. But the evening one is pulling off the gunk of the day. So we might have gotten slimed essentially out and about the world, or, things didn't go right. So she has you pull it off and throw it in a trash can. And that's the evening meditation. I don't do that every day, but there are some days like, I think I need to do that meditation. And then there's another beautiful one by Vishen Lakante. It's called the 6-phase meditation. 6-phase meditation. Mm-hmm. And it might have been $5. It might have been free, but that's on Omvana, Vishen Lakante. And his is really beautiful because he's looking at gratitude, like what good things have happened in your day, and to kind of relive those good moments, whether it's a great cup of coffee or running into a friend or having a really great, amazing product experience with somebody that is life-changing. So he walks you through that, and then he walks you through other things, like what is your goal for today? What do you want to complete, and what is your mission for the day? And then he has you plan 3 years out. What's your goal 3 years out? Because he said oftentimes people over predict 1 year, but they under predict 3 years. So he's like, let's take it out 3 years, and then you can work back from there of what is your plan? What do you want your day to look like? What do you want to be doing? And all of that. So this is a really great focused one. As you can see, it's on my phone, it's on my iPad, so it's always with me. And I do have them downloaded so I can listen to them anywhere I'm at whenever I feel like I need a little boost. Sometimes I can be driving. I don't fall asleep when I'm driving doing a meditation, but so you have to take that into account for yourself.
Yeah.
But those are some of the things that I readily use, and I have others, but those are my main three that I start off my morning. And this morning I started with love and above, and then I did half of the 6 phase, and then it was time to go. But you do what you can to get your energy in the right place, and because the world has become more busy, and there is rejection that happens in all areas of our life, in our business, and some people don't bounce back as quickly. And you have to get that you can't take anything personal. It's not about you. It's never about you. It's about whatever's going on in their life. But we do want to feed them the best that we can with what we have, and starting off with a good attitude. And Barbara Bertucci's been a great coach and always speaking things in the positive. In fact, I remember in the beginning, I was assisting, I think I sponsored a Humans Being More training, and I was a flight attendant back then. I was supposed to commute to St. Louis to go to work for the next day. And that night I kept saying, oh, I don't want to go to St. Louis. I don't want to go to the airport. And she's like, you got to go. You're scheduled to go. You got to go. So rephrase that in the positive. I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go. I said it, I think 3 times. So I went to the airport and the flight was canceled. I'm like, oh. Okay, well, that's an interesting coincidence, and that's not the result I wanted to create, because I needed to get to St. Louis. Yeah. So I think I had to call off sick or something, because you can't no-show a flight. And then that happened a second time, where I remember Barbara saying, now, you got to speak that in the positive. And I went to the airport. I'm like, I really don't want to go. It was like a 6 a.m. flight. Well, I got to the airport that next morning, and St. Louis airport was fogged in. So I couldn't get there either. I'm like, okay, so maybe Barbara has something here of speaking it in the positive, because if I'm that powerful in the negative, how good could I be if I speak it in the positive? So yeah. She started teaching me that 22 years ago, and that's what I now do. Let's talk about what we want to create, not what we don't want to create. Don't even mention that.
So Linda, Barbara is your sponsor, is that correct?
Yes.
So it sounds to me like you work really closely with your sponsor. You really do allow her to mentor you and so that you can become better and better. And then I'm sure that you also mentor her, because you come across things. Yeah. So it becomes a very close bond. And this is how I've seen it when I see people create great results in Nikken. They have a very, very close bond with either their sponsor or somebody upline that they really relate to, and they work with very closely, almost like on a daily level. Every time I've helped somebody go, really move through the ranks quickly, silver, gold, platinum, it's because we're working super close together, on almost a daily level, if not a daily level. And it sounds like you do that too with her, so that you're really supporting each other and pumping each other up to be able to get out the door and do what you told me the other day. What did you say? You contacted 71 people or something on the last day of the month.
Last of the month. I made 71 phone calls.
That's amazing.
And I finally text Barbara because we both want to win the trip to Italy. So we're doing the 3,000 group volume. And I start off the day, like last month on the last day, I just flown back from Utah, and I had 1,800 to go on the last day of the month. I'm like, why didn't I plan further ahead on this? And I pulled it off. So here I was on the last day of the month, and I only had $600 to go. And I'm like, that should be easy. Well, it was not easy. I made all these 71 phone calls. I counted the next day. And it's like 10:30 at night. And I'd already called the people I knew on the West Coast. And I'm like, I surrender. I got nothing. I got nothing else. I only had like $140 to go. And I actually text Barbara. I'm like, I played full out. I surrendered. It's just not happening. And she's like, wait a minute. I just got some orders. Maybe I have an extra one. And
Oh,
so, I mean, we were on the phone together and she did. So,
that's
I mean,
beautiful.
how I was like, oh my gosh. And so there's a couple points there. Your upline, sometimes they have stuff that they can help you. And then also surrendering and let it go. I mean, I had the activity to back it up. And I have to say, I've had a lot of orders that came through from that this week.
Yes.
So it's like planting those seeds may not be for today, and they're for tomorrow. And some of those phone calls, I hadn't talked to these individuals in a while, so you have to do that. Oh, hi, how are you, what's going on, before you can get to your point. You can't just dive to the point.
Yes. Yeah,
Sometimes
that's really true. I think that's one of the art. I mean, I always feel that contacting and inviting is such an art form. It really is. And you can never just dive straight into like, would you like to buy a sleep system or a waterfall, whatever. It's never going to happen because it's a dance between people and it's a development of trust, of course. There has to be that trust. And that if people feel that you're just coming after them to get something from them, that never works, because I think our work is to give and to educate. And like this couple yesterday were in their early 20s and they were adorable, and they were a connection from a new consultant, Abby, who's under me, and they happened to be in Colorado and they happened to come over, and we just got talking about their lives and their families and the struggles their parents are having, which are considerable. And so just easing into the conversation of like, well, let me tell you what I've seen, and let me show you what I've learned. And I said, and the wonderful thing is that whatever you do with this, once you learn something, you cannot unlearn it. And that is so exciting about education, is when, I get so thrilled when people are just open and like, well, how does that work? And why does that happen? And why am I so much stronger when I'm on the insoles? And all the fun things we do, right? The melting ice, the lemon test, the rollouts, the strength test, the Kenko touch. And it's so much fun. Like, I think it's my favorite part of Nikken is doing demos. I love it. And the more I listen and let them speak, the better it goes. And the more
I have to share this, Julie. I just got off the phone with Bonnie Oak. She's been in and out of Nikken actually for 22 years. And she's super excited about the Kinko Touch, which at first I was not excited about it because I didn't like the pulsing sound.
Yes.
Until Barb Satterwhite said, oh, you can, our handheld pulse magnetic field. I'm like, wait, what? But it's all 3 technologies. And so Bonnie we're going to do like a little class on how to get the best results with this. And she is an amazing massage therapist, colonic therapist. And I took a couple notes because she said, I've had like neck issues off and on since I was 5, but she's like, it's just important to do the front. And then she talked about the front actually could work as like a non-surgical facelift, because she's like, wrinkles are actually tight muscles under the skin. So she's like, well, you use it here and you can use it on the tight muscles. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. And then she said, it's really important to use here, for the muscles on the side. She's like, there aren't any bones here. It shouldn't feel like a bone. Yours feels like a bone. And then also down here where it attaches. So everybody start playing with this, but not just here. Right. Use it on all the different sides, and let's just see what magic we can create.
Well, that's a great idea. I have a consultant. In fact, he just sent me a new Facebook notification today about a new page he created, and he does acupuncture for beauty. And he's very successful in London. And he uses all the Nikken products for that. And we talk about beauty a lot, beauty sleep, how we need deep sleep for our beauty. So, and who doesn't, love the whole anti-aging conversation? It's exciting. So, and it's very pertinent because we have all the baby boomers turning 60 every couple of seconds or something. So, we want to really tap in there to these natural ways of keeping ourselves beautiful and hydrated and so forth. So,
but for people that have like she has a cousin that wasn't able to swallow because she get these spasms in her esophagus, and just she wasn't able to swallow solid food since she was a child, and she's in her 60s. Just using it like this, 10 minutes, and she can eat.
It's wonderful.
That's life changing.
It's so absolutely life-changing. It is beautiful. So those, yeah, PEMF, PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic fields. We talk about that a lot, and people get very, very excited about the magnetics. And I know you know a lot about the nutrition and so forth, but I don't know about you, but for me, I focus on nature when I'm teaching people in those demo times. You know, the focus on the earth, the sun, the air, and the water. And then, I go into nutritionals later, or if they're really interested. But there are many nutritional companies out there, and I love our nutritionals. They're phenomenal. However, nobody has what we have in terms of magnetics and sunshine energy and, pie water and so forth. So that's where I put my focus, is on those things that nobody has and everybody needs. Would you say you do the same?
Absolutely. I do. I mean, it depends on how, what we first started the conversation about. But yes, generally it's with this, or the duct tape is always in my purse. Well, you guys have seen my purse on stages. And I always have the duct tape. So I listen to find out what will get their attention the fastest. So sometimes it's the duct tape with like a little power mini, or the insoles, or whatever it might be, or sleep. Oh my gosh. And I still do rollouts, but if you don't do a rollout, if you have a sleep system, you can just make sure you have your sheet over top of your sleep system. And I always say you can get on top of my sheets, but not under my sheets. So I let them cover them up with a comforter. I put a sleep mask over their eyes and just let them lay in that environment for 10 minutes quietly. And everybody loves it. And I always bring attention. So how is your temperature? Because here in Florida, a lot of people do not sleep with comforters, or in other parts of the country where it gets hot. Oh, I don't sleep with a comforter. I make sure they are covered up, and then they see, it does its job. You're not hot or cold or achy or stiff.
So I'm looking for a photo to show you guys from 2 days ago, the lady who was here with her. And if can you see that?
Yes.
She's laying down, and I still have my sleep system over there open because I have another lady coming today and somebody else coming tomorrow. So, and that's what I like, is lots and lots of demos in my house. So I don't get attached to any one person, but I know with the law of averages, the right people are going to get it, right? And it's just so thrilling. So,
and I'll call you. I had a gal I met in a stairwell in Tampa General, and one gal was limping. So we talked about the duct tape, and this other woman walked in. Oh, you still having knee problems? To this other nurse. And out of that, I went and met with her off the cuff. And she wanted to get M Strides. I registered her as a customer. Well, she called me last night. Well, can you tell me more what being a consultant entails? Because I know a lot of people that hurt, and I already believe in this product.
So, exactly. That's where we wanted to go, where people start thinking about the people they know and the importance. And that's where the urgency is, the importance of educating our world about this. And the importance of them educating. That's really how I sponsor people, is it's more about who they know and who they could help than anything else. Because that's inspiring for all of us, because every human being loves to be of service, I think. Maybe not every human being, but we would say most human beings, if they got their head on straight and their heart and right, is that they want to help. We want to serve humanity, and that's where we appeal to people, is in their ethics and their value system. To who do you know? This word needs to get out, and our market penetration is 0.25%. So let's make something happen here. So I'm watching our time, and our time has gone by so fast. I want to ask you one quick question, and that is, for me, when I lend people products, I lend them a lot of products. I lend them night and day, 24/7 for about 7 to 10 days. So sleep system for the night, bottles of water, not the actual waterfall, the air system, necklaces, power bands, insoles, seats, Kenko touches, mag flexes if they need it. So depending on what they need. And things for their family as well. So I want to get the products into their family, not just to them, but their spouse, their child. So I put in a lot of effort there. to give them an experience, a surround sound experience for 7 to 10 days. So that's kind of how I work with it. And because then I get great results with them. I don't just lend one power band or one pair of insoles, because it's a crapshoot, and I don't want to lose them. I want them to really get it. So that's why I give them so much, and they're always very grateful for that. So do you do the same kind of thing?
Well, I do a really good product demo, and on the spot, I generally will get an order. And if I feel a good sense about it, then I'm like, I get the order, and then like, well, I really want you to try the sleep system and the water, and then I'll actually then loan them everything that they didn't get.
Love it.
So, and insoles I never loan. I'm like, those are personal. They're very inexpensive. They're gonna have them for a long time. You just need to get your own. So I don't personally do that.
Yes.
But I want them to get something on their own. That's just something I've been doing the last actually many years. So that way they have a little vested interest and they have their own stuff, and then I'll loan them the other things. And I'm not going to just loan a little power band or something. I want them to have a good experience. So I will loan them a whole grouping of other things.
Yes, that's great. I mean, we've never talked about that, but I kind of had a feeling you might do this similar type thing. I'm going to open it up so everybody can see each other here. And there you are, Linda. I was like, where's Linda? Okay, there you are.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. So gosh, Linda, thank you so much. If anyone has a really important question, they're welcome to ask, but we really have about 2 minutes left for our time, and I want to let everyone go on to the rest of their day and their demos that they're doing. So this is where our business happens, is in our demos. It's in that interpersonal relationship. That's where you're going to find your customers and where you're going to find your consultants, other than the online aspect of it, which can work. But I find the one-on-one is way more effective, way more effective, because of that personalized time and the rollout and so forth. So anyone have a quick question for Linda before we all go on our merry way? You can unmute yourself personally if you do have a question. And Linda, I think you are a living example of an incredibly healthy, beautiful, loving, vibrant Nikken consultant. I mean, we all look up to you so much. You are brilliant, and your knowledge of health and wellness is prodigious. So we're very grateful that you're part of our Nikken family. Very grateful. And thank you for all that you do for us and for the world. You really, it makes me want to cry. You make our world a better place, and we are all blessed for having your presence in our lives.
And I'm so blessed. And actually, I see many people from my information calls or my Brainstorm Friday calls on here too. And they're just so amazing. Like Heather actually covered my call this morning because I had another appointment along with Gary from Maine. And, I have my Eagle Award is in my living room. It's right by my front door. So every day I see that, and it reminds me of my mission to soar above, soar through the storms of life. And I'm just going to always rise above, because I love Nikken. These products, they are who I am, and I will always be. And I'm so grateful that now 22 years I've lived without agony. And prior to that, I lived with agony 22 years, 24 hours a day. So I'm now going above, feeling better in my life than I felt bad in my life. So it's a great place to be. And it's thanks to Nikken, and it's thanks to the people and the Nikken family, really. It's because we have a heart. And I have to say, I ran into Nikken 3 times before I bought a product. Barbara Bertucci invited me to join her in business 7 times before I said yes. And she just had to ask the question a little differently that 7th time, and she did. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. Share with other people what helped you. Oh my gosh, yeah, I can't keep it from them. So that's what I do and who I am.
It really is. It really is an angel on a mission. That is who you are. Well, thank you, everyone. You're all angels on missions. So let's get on purpose. Let's get focused. and let's do a better job of loving our world into health. Thank you, everyone, and God bless. And we will talk whenever it is the next one that we do, which will be the last one of the month. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Blessings.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.